Hi, everybody. Welcome again. Today we have another special guest, Ramsey from Rev Reply on our podcast, the Smart Office podcast today. So it's a special guest. I mean, he comes with a lot of insight, but I'm going to let him introduce himself. So, Ramsey, welcome and thank you for coming. It's a pleasure for coming
Hey,
on this podcast.
absolutely. Thanks for having me. Absolutely
Yeah.
appreciate it.
So just to kick off a little bit, to give a little bit of background about yourself for our listeners, right? Who don't know you yet or want to share your background, or they may want you to share a background. So what can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you to launch Rev Reply?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, I'm born and raised in sales. And my family has
Right.
been entrepreneurs growing up, a wide range, a lot of retail, a lot of random businesses here and there. So I think, it's somewhere in my blood, but
Mm.
been in sales my entire life. Most notably, I've been part of a few YC companies as well as Apollo. Apollo.io was with
Right,
them
right.
2019 and 2021 when they were almost on the brink of bankruptcy. And, it's nice to see where they're at today. Big part of that was really just being able to understand the sales enablement space, right? And having a fascination by it and being able to see a larger vision of where the cracks were, right? There's a lot of gaps. I still think there's a tons of gaps that we can
Wow,
dive
yeah.
into. It's something that I've seen over the course of several years and my entire career. I mean, how come there's no solution for this? And
Right,
so what we've done at Rev Reply is really build the solution for response management. It's a category that does not exist that we have formed. You're starting to see some people starting to pay attention to it, but we've been at this for 2 years now and have
right,
done a very deep dive into response management. So everything from once the response comes in to objective achieved, whatever that conversion is. For some people, it's
right.
not only meeting booked, it's meeting complete. Some people, it's past that as well to do close. And how do you utilize Rev Reply to be able to handle that from once the response comes in? Uh,
Wow. Yeah, so since we're talking about Rev Reply, I'm sure there are many people who don't know what it is. So what's the mission behind Rev Reply and what problems are you solving for clients today? Like just break it down to some person, they just say Rev Reply, basic analogy, maybe some as
yeah,
basically as you can.
absolutely. Absolutely. So we're building a response management layer that transforms pretty much every reply into revenue. Right. And so literally again, from first response to completed meeting or whatever it may be. Look,
So that's where the name Rev Reply comes from, revenue reply. Okay. Yeah. Generating revenue from reply. Okay. Makes
yeah,
sense. So,
many of the rev companies. We actually started a few of them before we got to Rev Reply. But the most important part is, look, at the end of the day, I mean, Harvard Business Review, MIT, HubSpot,
right,
Salesforce, Chili Piper, Inside Sales. I could go on and on, literally just making a song out of all the different companies, organizations, most reputable organizations out there, and the biggest scholars that have said themselves, speed to lead is what either kills a deal or makes a deal, right? If you
right,
respond within 5 minutes or less, your chances of converting that deal increase anywhere between the lowest stat I've seen is 397%. The
right.
highest stat is low. I mean, Harvard Business Review says 26 times more likely. But you look at something like HubSpot, they say 100 times more likely to convert if
Right.
you reply within 5 minutes or less. And I think especially in a world of AI, people
Right.
expect you to be fast,
Be
but they
faster.
expect
Yeah.
you to be errant. And I think that is the problem that we solve, right? And how are you able to respond methodically, thoughtfully, strategically, and be able to actually do it with purpose, right?
Right.
You're not just a chatbot. People see through the chatbot. And people even see the AI, but they actually appreciate good AI. And I think we're in a time
Exactly.
right now, beautiful, where people are seeing difference between good AI and bad AI. Obviously, I like to say whether the good AI, and I think that's why we've been able to see the.
Well, I get it. So, yeah, of course, if there's good AI, people appreciate it. Let's dive a little bit. So, how does your approach to revenue really enable or differ from the rest of the market? Like, how does it differ somehow?
Yeah, so Rev Reply was born out of our lead gen agency that we had. We actually just recently, one of my co-founders and I actually had parted ways from from RevGen Labs,
Right.
and to focus primarily on Rev Reply. We
Right.
saw that Rev Reply had become our secret weapon. We grew RevGen Labs from zero to over $2 million in ARR in less than 50 weeks. That was very powerful to be able to do that. And so we saw what it did. We saw firsthand what the problems were. We saw the firsthand what we created a solution for it that really helped us scale and helped our clients scale as well. And so
Right.
fortunately for us, we were able to start with a really tight knit community of lead gen agency owners.
Mm-hmm.
They have been our rock. They have been our testers. They have been the people who give us the fastest amount of feedback. They have
Right.
been the biggest critics, and we have rolled through all the failures with them to get us to where it's at. And they've stuck by our side a lot, in order to improve the product where it's at. To give you some insight, I mean, go back to like November, where
Right.
our churn was 75%, believe it or not. So literally 3 out of 4
Yeah.
people would cancel within less than a couple months. They'd be out. They'd be in and out. But fast forward to last month, we have continued to make our product better and better and better. Not only have we increased revenue month over month, not only have we improved our average ticket month over month, but we
Right.
actually also decreased our churn to last month with 12%. Every month it's getting less and less and less. And I think it's a testament to how quality our product has done. So to answer your question, kind of go back to that, I think a lot of the things that we've done is really focus on the customer, right?
Right.
Listen to them. We have done this with zero marketing, not a single penny spent
Zero
marketing.
marketing.
Zero marketing. And believe it or not, as a lead gen and an ex lead gen agency, which we have obviously a massive ability to send tons of volume, we actually didn't send a single email for ourselves. We were so
Right.
focused on our clients that we were serving that was kind of our grounds for like testing and improving our product. And when we're serving all these lead gen agency owners, we had enough coming at us to really
Right.
be able to refer the product and perfect it to where it's at now. And so we're getting ready to obviously do some more heavier outbound and some marketing is on the horizon for sure. But we have been able to grow that and scale that to that point without any of that. And it comes down to listening to the customer. And this is
Yeah.
something I've learned firsthand at any company I've been a part of. Apollo's a great example.
Right.
We took a ton of client interviews, customer interviews, and talking to them, see what they like, see what they don't like, take that feedback in. Every
Yeah. You,
single support ticket is
you must
feedback
have
for
a
them.
very good feedback loop there.
You have to. You have to in order to improve your product. So we're in a world of a product-led growth motion. Again, on one side, I'm kind of contradicting myself because I'm have this, this lead gen side arm of us that really had like that's all we do, right? That's one side. The other side, we're like, we're not even doing any cold email or
Uh-huh.
marketing. It's product-led growth and be able to listen to that. So I think like that's it's a mixture of both, right? How can you
Right.
be able to? Fortunate for us, we had kind of two sources of revenue and we'd be able to feed one with another. And so that kind of helped us develop the product a lot faster, which was again what puts us in a great position right now to really start putting fuel to the fire on the marketing and lead gen side. Because now we have the product. Now we know if we bring in $1,
Mm-hmm.
there's an 88% chance that we'll keep that dollar. We're like
Right.
going back 10 months ago, if we bought $1, we're going to lose
We're
75
gonna.
cents of that next month. So it was really painful. And we knew we could not really get to the point of spending or putting more out there and having more exposure and all across the board. Regardless, we still got it naturally and organically.
Yeah.
Um, it just wasn't fully ready. And so that's why we had obviously split the companies and now we have 100% focus on just Rev Reply over the past few months. And
Yeah.
I think it's really starting to show.
Building on that, like for the past year, let's say, what's the biggest shift you've seen in the past year in revenue operations or client success? Building on what you just said, in the last couple of months or last couple of years, what's the biggest shift you've seen?
It's a good
Let's
question.
say,
I think the shift, I think there's a few different shifts that have happened, right? I think
right,
one, I mean, just the last couple of years alone, I don't think it's news to anybody today,
right,
but the gen space has changed. How
right,
do you
it's
send
really changed.
know, deliverability and all this has completely changed. Like deliverability is the biggest topic, not
Right,
just it's the biggest topic of every minute of
every
every
minute.
day.
You're right.
And I don't think that's going to change for quite some time. And I think it kind of makes the game a little exciting, right? Because
Mhm.
like I was at Apollo, I saw lead gen companies. If you asked me when I was at Apollo if I'd ever start a lead gen company, I would be like, absolutely not. I would never want to start a lead
Yeah,
gen business because I see what people do. People will come in and just like copy and paste a sequence and just change their
right.
company in it and click a button, all these contacts, and something will land. You'll get something that works.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's like, and then just have a client for 3 or 4 months and rotate them around consistently. So I'm like, I'll never want to be a lead gen company because I feel like it's no shot to lead gen companies. They're our biggest fans of our community. But for what I saw back then, and I think this is the beautiful about how it's changed now. But what I saw
Right.
back then, it was like a used car salesman type of job. It's like, hey, just come in, let buy, I keep you for 3 months, and then you'll churn and you go on to the next one, right? And go through that cycle and the same script. But I think today you see some amazing lead gen companies out there, and people have truly been able to like it's literally become a science. I think back
Right.
then it was just like a rinse and repeat. You click a
Hmm.
button or two, you have to have a little idea about copywriting and all this other stuff. But now it's a lot more than that. It's not just as simple as that. And to be able to customize things at such a granular level, be able to scrape things at a granular level, to be able to, I mean, you have so many sources of data, right? Data is endless today.
Right.
But be able to know how to use that data,
How
how to
to use it?
clean it,
Yeah.
the infrastructure, sending 10,000 emails a month is one thing. Sending
Hmm.
20,000 is another. Sending 100,000 is another. Sending 500,000, a million, 2 million emails, that's a whole different level as well. There's a science to it, right? And I think, I applaud a lot of there's amazing, I mean, Taylor Hands, and I think one of the most genius ones out there in today's world. He's been able to build that out, and that's not something that you just you're on the frontier of it. You're building this out all from the unknown. Like you're all
From
figuring
unknown.
this out. You have to go to the lab yourself and crack the code on this. Lead gen space has changed a lot, right? I think that in itself, the go-to market strategy has changed. That's one piece. The
Right.
second piece is this product-led growth motion, right? How can you let your product talk to your customers? How can your customers
Exactly.
talk about your product? And I think you're seeing this by some amazing companies out there. Like, Clay is a great example. Clay has been around for a long time. Nobody knew that,
Right.
right? Like everyone thinks Clay has been around just like more recently. Like, oh, Clay is a new company. No, they've been around for quite some time. They've
Yeah.
built a community. They really, truly have built a
Exactly.
and I think it's a great example of like, hey, build a community. Start. It doesn't matter if it's 50 people or 100 people or 200 people or 1,000 people. Build it one by one. So there's a lot of different ways of going about doing that, and I think it's shoving down things down people's throat is really not the way that pushes people away. And I think that product-led growth motion mixed with a good GTM strategy really is. I mean, is a big part to scale, and obviously listening to your customers. So like, it's a combo, man. It's a combo.
Now, there's one thing. Let me find out from you, from your experience. What are companies struggling the most with? Is it lead gen, pipeline management, or customer retention? What's the pain point? What's the area? What are companies really struggling with in today's?
None of
Uh,
the above. None of the above. Customers are struggling with targeting. That is the
yeah.
number one
No,
thing
no,
that people are struggling.
companies. I mean companies.
Oh, I'm sorry, companies. Apologies.
Yeah.
Companies are struggling with targeting. I think
Right.
there are a lot of shiny toys out there that's telling you, "Hey, let me show you how you could do this with a push of a button." Right? Let me
Right.
show you how to do this with a push. It's not. I wish it was that easy. We're not in a world where it's becoming that easy. It really does take a lot more finesse these days. I think this is actually the same thing that where some lead gen companies are struggling. I could build you a very customized message, and I can spend a pretty penny on Clay every month for doing so, utilizing
Right.
so many cool. And I could go every single line is very customized. So I like could figure out where you were born at, and I could figure out what you did for a living, what your some fun facts and like everything, all the pain points about your company and all that stuff. I go, look at the shiny message. I can send it to you, right? I can send it
Hmm.
to you. I can send it to a billion people tomorrow, right? And then figuring out hopefully what sticks, right?
Right.
The problem is people are forgetting that like some of the old school stuff is still really important. Great copy goes a long way. It doesn't have to
Hmm.
be all AI, right? And the other piece is like if you're figuring out the targeting, if you're spot on and understanding, this is where you got to leverage like tools like Clay and many others, right? There's so many different ways to go about doing this. But being able to like literally utilize AI to be able to find that information, analyze that information, figure out if they're a good fit, segment them, and then you start getting into the AI messaging. And I think people are skipping this piece. And
Right.
I think that is getting to a point of like, oh, we're sending emails. Look at these beautiful emails we're sending, but we're not converting many of them. Like, well, who are you
Exactly.
sending? You're still taking a spray and pray approach where just really people are just so fixated on the AI message. I think they're forgetting the part of targeting. You really have to hone on the targeting. I'd rather send 100 emails to the 100 exact people than 1,000 emails with a whole bunch of customized emails that just cost me so much more and it makes it seem like my performance is horrible. right? So again, it's just taking it back a step. Good evergreen copy actually still works well. I think there's just still a place for some great copywriters who are able to there's copywriters, there's like marketing copywriters, and there's a category that people I think don't really focus on as much to pay attention to, at least when it comes to finding copywriters, like sales AI copywriters. There's a really good knack for that. And there are some great ones out there, but not everybody has become a copywriter just because of AI. That's not really
Hmm.
it. There's more science behind that as well. So I feel like that's the piece. And I share this because like I see what works and I see what doesn't. Right. I have visibility into these things that really
Yeah,
I'm seeing what generates responses. I'm seeing what converts. And that is the biggest advice I give is honestly is targeting. People are really
targeting.
missing.
So, I mean, seems like you have a lot of experience in that area. How do you see AI reshaping the way companies approach revenue growth today? It's like, how do you see that? What's the approach? What's the best approach you see?
Yeah. Not fully reliant on it. I think
Right.
using it as a tool to assist or be your co-pilot is one thing. Versus there's just like again, like not one size doesn't fit all. One
Exactly.
prompt
Doesn't.
everybody business model. Everybody has different data sets. I don't care if you're the same company, the same industry, selling the same thing, identical to your competitor. Even then, your processes and how you do things are completely different than
Completely
their
different.
processes and how you do things. I could sell the same exact thing and I could fail miserably using their processes, or I could sell, and they could sell the same exact thing, failing miserably if they use my processes. Right? It's fairly similar to, I mean, even like just take the lead gen approach. People like, oh, yeah, this is exactly this copy and paste is the same exact as my client. I'm like, no, this is completely different actually.
Right.
Let's talk about the process and what it is. Uh, so I think AI has as a place for that, right? I think people sometimes I think I think we're getting there. I think that it's becoming really. I find beauty in seeing how this world is developing through
Things
the
are
world of
changing. Yeah.
AI,
Things are
and
evolving.
I think AI gives every single company actually opens up
A shot.
the entire world. Think about how many
Yeah.
industries we created with AI. Think about how fast people are able to build companies with AI.
Hmm.
Like I shared with you earlier, we scaled like the lead gen business to 0 to over 2 million ARR within less than 50 weeks.
Wow.
That would be impressive 5 years ago. That'd be like
Right.
mind blowing, right?
Yeah, that would be mind blowing. That's impossible.
I do think we did a very impressive job to be able to do that, but it's not as uncommon as it was 5 years
Right.
ago, right? To be able to scale a company that fast. So I think again that's the thanks to the world of AI. But in every single layer, I think you'll see some companies fall out, but I think more companies are opening up different revenue bands, right, across the board. It just it should augment. It should definitely augment. I think very few companies can rely 100% on AI, for
No,
example.
it definitely should not and cannot. For sure, it definitely should not. Let's talk a little bit about Rev Reply here. So, what do most clients get wrong before they start working with you? Like, what kind of a clients? What's your client base? Are they individuals? Are they B2B? Are they businesses? What are your clients?
Yeah. So look, anybody that wants to get rid of this mundane task that we are constantly stuck in called email, right? Think about email as part of every single business, every
Exactly.
single part of our lives, even on a personal level, right? So think about how much time we do waste in email. We have this amazing technology with AI, but like the thing is, all these other companies are sitting here spending so much time and energy on how many emails I could send. I
Right.
could send thousands of emails, but it takes 1,000 much more effort to master the response than it is to master a cold outbound email, right?
Right.
I could create and I could say this AI stuff we're talking about earlier, but when the response comes in, that's why they hand it to a human because AI
Uh-huh.
can't really handle too much. And yeah, you got some little light chat bot. There's tons of options these days. There wasn't anybody 2 years ago, and now a lot of people are starting to step in and go, "Oh wait, there might be a business here." And I'm like looking at it like that's cute. Like we did
Hmm.
that about 2 years ago. But the thing is, like, at the end of the day, it really comes down to responding quickly, understand the context, having empathy, being able to understand or convert the deal if that's your objective, right? To push them either to a funnel or be able to achieve your objective, or to be able to set a meeting ultimately. kind
Right.
of like the three things that people look for in general, right? Or just informative to be able to respond, just basic things. Hey, Ramsey, can you take care of this? Cool. Absolutely done, right? There's those pretty much four main categories. And those fall across the lines between B2B, B2C. I mean, it goes everywhere. But
Right.
the unique part about Rev Reply, and this is where, I mean, again, it was born out of our Legion agency, our purpose is to convert meetings, sales opportunities ultimately, right? So having grown up in sales, we've actually injected tons of sales methodologies. I look back because I used to hate doing this. I look
Right.
back, I'm like, I finally could use this to a level that I never expected. But I know all the sales methodologies because every single company had a different sales methodology that they preach. They make you read the
Exactly.
books, take the course, and all that. Sandler methodology, Challenger methodology, and spin. I could go
Yeah.
on and
I
on and
mean, I
on.
mean, you can. I mean, when it comes to sales, there is no way you can make things up. Right? It's practically impossible. When it comes to tech, for us, some people in tech, of course, you could find this talent anywhere. But when it comes to sales, it's a challenging environment to get to the end user, and probably that product get to the end user. It's a challenge. But let's talk about what your customers may get wrong for it. So
So
let's
what they
say
get
what do most clients get wrong before they even start working with you? The mentality. Let's start from the point where they maybe it's something they don't get.
importance of speed to lead. I think that is a really critical piece. I think people say, "Hey, it's okay." I think this really is a big part of what we did really start with our clients' drop balls. Us handing over like, hey, this higher up from Coca-Cola, Expedia, all these like all these massive companies that their dream clients respond. We do all this work. They pay us all this money to get a response from somebody like that. And they go, hey, we'll handle it. We'll respond to that. And then we meet with them days later, and we meet with them usually every week. Like, hey, what's going on? How did this meeting go? How did this lead go? I don't know. They haven't been able to respond. I'm like, oh, did you get back to them? Yeah, I just got back to them today. I'm like, okay, but they emailed you about 2 days ago, a day ago. Why are you taking so long to like
Right.
respond to them? Like you just lost the opportunity. You don't wait for these kind of things. And so I'm like, oh no, it's okay. We'll get it. No, you won't. You won't. You missed your window of opportunity. There's a reason why these stats and these studies, these scholars and these organizations that have billions of data points will tell you that speed to lead matters. If I'm texting you right now, I'm a great example when it comes to texting. I'm
Right.
horrible at texting, right? And similarly LinkedIn, like I got a lot going on for me to sit down. But if you got me on LinkedIn and if I'm messaging you, I'm going to go back and forth with you consistently.
You have a window right there.
That's the window of opportunity. If you're texting me, if I'm responding and you're responding, we're going to go back and forth until whatever the conversation is done. But if I text you and you don't respond until an hour
Next
from
day.
now, I'm like doing something else. So I might not respond back to you till the following day, or I might get bombarded and I forget. It's just human nature, right? We have so many things. Like my screen is filled with windows. I don't even know how many tabs I have, right? Like it's easy to get distracted in today's world.
In
And I
today's
think
world, for sure. Now, do
it's
these
really,
clients usually come to you because of lead flow, conversion rates, or retention struggles? Like what these clients like regarding
yeah, that's
from what
a
you
great
see?
question. Version, I mean, look, we're very, very heavy focused on conversions, right?
Okay.
I'm a big fan of moving the needle. Every single little 0.2% here, 0.5% there, 1% here. There's a lot of features that we have built in Rev Reply that are made to move these little needles. I can give you one example for,
Right.
like there was a study actually done last year that grabbed, I think it was like 2,700 SDRs. And this inspired our future that we created. It's called the No Thanks feature.
Mm-hmm.
What it does is something simple, right? But what the study showed is it grabbed 2,700 SDRs and they studied them and they saw that less than 5% of SDRs actually respond to people who say no thanks. Less
Right.
than 5%, which is common. And honestly, that we were guilty. That's what we used to do. We used to just like let them go. Like, oh, don't worry about it. Respond to no thanks. There's
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
many other things. Somebody tells you no thanks. Why are you responding to them? And so what we did is create a no thanks feature. We tested it out, and it's actually obviously you saw a very similar result. What the study said is showed that if less than 5% of SDRs actually respond, but 2 to 4% of those responses from the SDRs that those opportunities, those contacts end up turning into opportunities. So
Opportunities.
2
Okay.
to 4 out of 100 turn into opportunities. Yes, majority people, 96, 98%, maybe 99% of people will never reply back to you, care about you. But if you think about it, it's one more email right in front of them that are going to see your name. They're going to see your billboard, right? One more time in front of them. 2, if you're courteous, they're probably not going to put you in spam. They're just telling you, hey, Dion, please take this out for the list. They're like, hey, absolutely got it. Take care of you. Or not interested. Free fine. And then 3, which is one big one that I think like is a big miss for people, is simply think about how it improves your deliverability. You're outside your Walmart pool. You now have one more interaction with somebody, and if that person sees that email and they go on their day, and let's just say down the road, a month later, a year later, whatever it may be, 6 months later, I don't care what, down the road, do you think that person is more likely to remember you because they saw your name one more time and you were courteous? Or do you think that person is going to remember somebody else who just emailed them and they said no thanks and they never responded back again? And I think that is the reason that people respond. It's common courtesy, I think. But
To
there's also
respond.
other
Yeah.
ways to get creative by saying, hey, absolutely understand you're not interested in lead gen, but are you, we also do offer cold LinkedIn outreach, for example. Like, oh, I'm actually not interested in lead gen. No, thanks to that, but I am interested in that, right? Or how about, I completely understand you're busy. If you're ever interested, I'd love to even give you a $50,
Gift card, whatever
gift
it
card
is.
to Amazon, whatever it may be. If you want to, you're willing to give me your time. Like, okay,
Yeah.
sure, here you go. Right? We've seen a lot of different ways people get creative around that, but we do see conversions of that.
Right.
That's one. I mean, there's a lot of little features, like even like delegate feature, which is really powerful for us, where people refer you to somebody else and Rev Reply will automatically forward that email thread and everything else and summarize and go pitch somebody else. That's another thing a lot of reps just drop.
Right.
But there's like tons. We go deep down, and all these, like, we're talking about minuscule, right? Like 2 to
Right.
4% turn into opportunities out of 100 responses. 2 to 4 of them turn into opportunities. Like, that's minuscule for people. Like, I don't want to worry about that. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4%. I'm like, yeah, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4% here. The delegate is another couple of percent here. This speed to leads another a few percentage points here. That's another few percentage points. And all of a sudden, now you're improving your conversions by 15, 20%. Like, powerful. And I think that's the thing that just, it's easy for people to focus on. Hey, let me show you this amazing, sexy email I could send, and that's all AI. And you can send
Right.
a million of them.
Million of
Just
them.
pay me, right? Like, that's great. Do that. But you do all that work to get a response, and then you drop in the ball. Where 80%, 87%, actually, I'm sorry, said it backwards. 78% of revenue dies post response. Let that soak in for a little bit, right? And so people are focused on the other thing. That's okay.
Let's expand on that a little bit. Can you share maybe a client story that people can easily relate to that captures some of the pain of doing this revenue, maybe wrong or right, or people, something like that people can, maybe listeners can easily relate to? Some
Yeah,
real life
absolutely.
situation?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, look, I mean, when, again, it's that speed to lead thing more than anything else, right? But that doesn't just do it. That's not it, because not everybody's always going to respond to that, right? Like, how do you? I mean, we have ability to connect to your calendar to be able to schedule through Inform. We see
Right.
that actually improves another couple of percentage points, right? Some people, hey, I'll be happy to click on a link. Some people want to loop in an executive assistant. Some people don't want to click on a link. They'll schedule through written form. We have that level of customization because we see what works. We're constantly fine tuning what improves conversions, and we're customizing the AI to be able to do so by still giving you that full ability.
Right.
So, I mean, we're seeing it day in, day out. I mean, there's a reason why we have 5 stars on G2. I think people are. We actually made it on the quadrant that was just announced like last week or about 10 days ago. It actually announced. G2 put us on the quadrant, and it was an incredible honor, honestly, because like we're up there next to ZoomInfo, Apollo, HubSpot,
Right.
Salesforce. There's 78 companies on that list. 78
Mm-hmm.
companies on that list, and out of all those, we're one of a few that are younger than 2 years old. And
Wow.
so it's. I think we want to be able to do that if we weren't able to improve those conversions. But I mean, I can give you endless examples, of being able to, for companies to be able to scale their growth. But I mean, I think looking at the G2 crowd, I'm sorry, G2 reviews, I think will tell you a lot about how people are like, hey, I didn't realize what was missing until I started using Rev Reply. I think that's the theme you'll see. People go like, I didn't realize how much time I spent in emails. Cause I think it's like,
Right.
you think about it, oh, here's a minute here, 2 minutes here, a minute there. Cool. I don't trust AI. I can't do this. And I
Right.
think that
Exactly.
that's to change for like, I rather handle this. Right. But we give that people that the
It
ability to
adds
like
up.
really fully automatic, or
Yeah.
you want in the loop, you want an
Yeah.
assistant, or do you want a copilot, or you want fully automatic, or you want certain things fully automatic, you want certain
Yeah.
things to be manual review, or you want certain things manual, right? Like we give you that customization. And literally, we give you enterprise grade level customization. That's where our tool is built to all the way to the individual user, right? Like, which is very powerful, very, very, very.
No, no. Let's talk about a little bit. I mean, this product is amazing. I work with other products. Like I know I've seen the trend in the industry as auto replies. This is not just an auto reply. This is a customized environment, contextual, that has emotions and takes into consideration context for every email. But when you take on a new client, what's the first step in your process? What's the first step? I just want to describe, let's say somebody's new, said this product on this podcast is like, okay, I want to go do this. What's the first step?
Yeah, we're very hands on, and it's helpful for us because it's kind of it's a win-win situation. Because one, we want to be hands on because we want to perfect the product for you. Everybody's different. We have people like, hey, just want to collect door measurements. We have people trying to get people on a podcast. We have people who are trying to push people to download or create a free trial or download an app. We have obviously a lot of majority of people are trying to book meetings, but like we have people using multiple agents, tag teaming. Literally, like I'm an AI agent replying to you, introducing somebody else, and it was like the CEO who's coming into the conversation, and that's that AI agent is taking over. We see if we're really involved, we see that we get a really good pulse on these things, and we see what people want. Sometimes we could read between the lines to kind of give them what they want, even more of what they want, right? So the best way, honestly, is obviously book a call with us. I'm happy to have that conversation with anybody. Uh, we're really, really inexpensive compared to anything that's close to what we do.
Okay,
Um,
yeah,
we're far, far more powerful, but like the ability is honestly because it's such a new thing. If I gave you the keys to Outreach, Apollo, Sales Loft, all these tools, instantly, Smart Lead, any Bison, whatever, all these tools, like even if you're somewhat familiar, like I could figure out how to use a sequencing tool. I
right.
could figure that.
Yeah,
But when you get the keys to somebody of something like this, it doesn't exist. This is something completely new. And there's nobody that's self-serve like we are. So we take a very hands-on approach. Typically, I tell people, create a free trial account, go build it, book time on my channel, let's review it, and let me help you show you how to tweak it and make it better. We have tons of resources, but we take a very hands-on approach, and I always love getting on these calls and really showing people like, hey, let's make this perfect. Because if you're not
well,
getting what you want out of it, if it's not sending or putting out what you want, it's because you didn't put the right things in. And so
right,
it's gotten to that point where like it's actually just it all comes down to what you put and how you set it up. Because we have so many high level, just very highly enterprise grade level capabilities and options that there's a lot you could do.
right.
It just depends on what you want. And you just
Yeah,
need to know how.
so you help customers, the customize, develop the workflows for them and do this. I see on your website you have multiple plans that are adapted for every user. I mean, as you said, very affordable prices. But can you talk a little bit about Rev Replies, the notion of the agents and the credits? What's the difference and how do you square that up? Somebody like, for example, for the basic plan has one agent and 50 credits. How does
Yeah,
that work?
absolutely. So the credits are strictly based on the number of replies that are generated.
So one reply is one credit. Is that what it is?
Correct. And I will
Okay.
tell you this: every single company, especially the big ones. I mean, we work with like Lead Hype, Bird. I mean, they send millions of emails per month.
Right.
Any of these guys, all these. I mean, we work with the biggest agencies out there. Honestly, we send millions upon millions of emails. But the crazy part is all these guys have always come down to us and said, hey, I need a lot of credits. I'm like, I promise you're going to need less credits. I'm like the worst salesperson when it comes to this because like, I don't need you to, don't buy this, buy this. Trust me. Trust me.
So
Because I see it. 'Cause if you respond fast enough, you're less likely to use more credits because you don't have to go back and forth. We see touch points go from 5 touch points to conversion reduced down to 2 touch points to conversion or less than that in some
right.
cases. You are autopilot. So you use less credits, right? So It depends.
So let's say 50 credits. Would that be 50 replies, one email, 50 replies, or back and forth, right?
It'd be every reply is generated by Rev Reply. So if I email you, you email me back on a cold email, Rev Reply replies back, that's one credit. You respond back, Rev Reply responds back, that's another credit. But again, if you respond quickly, your chance of converting it is a lot faster. So you
Faster.
use
Okay.
less. So people think about, oh, well, I go back and forth 5 times before I get to actually give a meeting. I'm like, yeah, because how long are you taking to work?
Yeah. So yeah, that's why it's about conversion, about lead gen, which makes it revenue based on your investment, like return on investment. That's quite cheap from what you're saying. So let's say, do most clients want one-time fix, or is it a long-term engagement they have with you, or usually short-term? How do you see that?
A lot of people are month to month, but there's definitely some perks from going annual. Your credits,
Right.
you don't have to worry about
Of course.
not rule credits, and you get obviously the discount 20%. A lot of people start on month to month to test things out, see how it is, and they go, okay, this is becoming part of my business now, and let me just pay annually. It makes much more sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. I mean, I see a lot of value in that. When it comes to expanding, where you see growth, do you see growth in existing clients, or do you see growth more in bringing new clients? Do you like? I know we mentioned that a little bit earlier, where the retention rate is great, churning has gone down a lot. Where is it at the moment? Is it expanding more?
It's definitely expanded. Expansion is obviously our bread and butter, right? Like once people get in, they're able to make it work. They see value. They have no hesitancy. They don't even reach out to us. They just create themselves because they go, this works, and I know it works, and I see it working, and this is exactly what I need. Why am I going to sit here train a sales rep every single time I have a new client or something like that when I could just train one and get it all? So
that makes sense. So
yes.
When it comes to balancing these tailoring solutions, because I see from what you're saying, you're very hands-on, you customize it to the client. And how do you balance tailoring these solutions with keeping delivery scalable? How do you scale that? Like if you have to customize everything, how do you scale? How is it scaling?
I use that level of customizations to always build something new, right? So we have a long list of obviously of features on our roadmap, and what we're getting ready to unleash in the next month is going to be. You think this is mind blowing? We're already doing things that people are not doing, but we're about to do and unleash in the next month. It's going to be something insanely wild. Like that is going to be mind blowing for everybody. So we're trying to keep that on the deal until we launch it. But some things are going to be, you're going to see some things that are just, it's going to be a no-brainer for a lot of people. So yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about you, like your co-founder, and been in this product for probably about a year, 2 years or so. What's been the toughest part of building Rev Reply so far? What's been the challenge? What's been the toughest?
Having focus. I think that's the biggest one. I mean, staying focused on what you're, staying focused on the user and the end user. What do they want? What do they really want? I think being able to understand that has sometimes it gets a little harder. But look, it's not easy.
Right. I know.
And a cake.
No walk in the park or something. So
it's not easy. Park. It's not easy. Whatever you want to call it.
Whatever I want to call it, yeah. For sure.
It's not easy.
I've learned it the hard way, just like you said. You may have an amazing idea. You may have, this is what it's going to be, but getting to those clients who really need it, that's one of the challenging parts. So let me ask, where do you personally feel stretched the most? Is it client delivery, sales, or managing the team? Like, where is it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's just, honestly, it's bandwidth across the board. I think when you're founder and your founder-led sales, your founder-led product, your everything, like I'm not a developer. I'm very fortunate to have an amazing co-founder and CTO who's just a great match. And honestly, he is phenomenal what he does. I don't know where this would be without him. And so we're like the yin and yang, being able to balance our skill sets and tackling these issues. I have some amazing mentors that help guide and bounce ideas off of and ask questions to. It takes a village, honestly. And I think you're expected to know it all at this point. I feel like everybody's expecting to know it all.
No, you can't.
I don't know anything. I've realized that, the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know anything.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Like, what's one thing you would wish you want to delegate or automate tomorrow? Okay, let's give me five. Yeah, we're rounding up in the next 5 minutes.
It started 4 minutes ago, so I do have to get wrap this up in a second. They are waiting on a call. They just pinged me as well.
Okay,
So
sounds good.
yeah,
So yeah, okay, we have a hard cut up there. Okay, so let's
yeah.
round up. Let's just round up by okay. Maybe you want to round up here and just let us know. Maybe there's something we didn't talk about. Maybe is there anything you want to talk? If somebody wants to get to Rev Reply, is there anything? How would they get to you on the website? Do you?
Yep,
How do they?
absolutely. Check out revreply.com. Follow us on LinkedIn. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Ramsey Al-Ramahi, Alramahi, LinkedIn. So happy to connect with you. Happy to do whatever I can to help make you successful. Any ideas, anything you want to see, we're very much built by our community, by our users, for our users. If there's anything you want to see, we put everything on the roadmap, and we're happy to build that up.
Ramsey, this has been a powerful conversation. I think a lot of leaders will relate to the challenges you've shared. Thank you very much for being with us, sharing your ideas. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very
Thank you.
much, Ramsey. Talk to you
Thank you so
soon.
much for having me. Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one. Thank you.
You too.
Thanks.